Good morning, traders. The purpose of this video is to speak a little bit about some of the dynamics of price action and how you can use them in concert with the SRT and the TW Power Trader. I received an email from someone who apparently was looking for something more specific in how to enter trades. Well, we have a lot of different ways to approach that. So I thought, well, what I'll do is just make some tidbits and we can gather them together, and then the traders can go through those and look at things that I use to enter trades. Well, this one occurred just a few days ago. Uh, oh, first, let me preface this. This is very important. I just completed um, a scan program that you can use to find signals when you have signals on both charts. And in this case, it would have been right here on this candle. You would have received a signal, and certainly one would want to consider an entry at that point. However, the purpose of this video is to explain to you how that signal finally come to be generated by looking at price action. Incidentally, this is where I took the signal. I did not know this trade was developing, and the scan program found it for me. I had my head somewhere else, and it signaled to me that this trade was going off. I didn't get into it at the absolute lowest point, but I still made a nice little return. So, in any case, I want to talk to you a little bit about the buildup of price. Now, we're going to go over here on this chart on the right, and we can see that price had gone up in a little short move upwards, and then it was hesitated, probably due to this big overwhelming bearish SRT up above. But in any case, for whatever the motivation was, the bears certainly got control of it and drove it back through. Now, here we have an interesting scenario. We have an SRT bullish support zone that was developed on this candle, and we have a SRT bearish support zone that was developed on this candle. And anytime you get these two zones like this, you can be looking for a consolidation, at least a consolidation of sorts. Technically, if you went by the guidelines of the technocrats that tell you what a consolidation is, they would probably throw a line about through here, and they would throw another one somewhere through here, and it would tell you that all the price action between those two zones was indication of a consolidation. Well, what I'm going to tell you is we can look right in this little zone right here in the middle, and we can see consolidation quite clearly, and we can see that it is clustered about the SRT bearish zone and the SRT bullish zone. So what we'd want to see is we want to see price making a real definite move, a real obvious predominant move that we could easily visually determine what's going on. And now let's look at each candle and say why this is not that kind of move. It is true that we had these red candles came through, and we had an opening here below the zone and here below the zone. But at the same token, when we went from here to here to here, we're actually showing some bullish move because the closes are progressively higher. And then it broke through the bullish zone, and then it opened above the bearish zone. Pardon me, it broke through the bearish zone, and then it opened above the bullish zone, and then the bears got control of it again and drove it back down. Well, of course that's going to happen, because that's what causes consolidations. It's the battle of the bulls and the bears. And as a matter of fact, it was driven all the way down to the bottom of this candle. But again, the bulls returned with their push. They pushed it back up and left this big long tail down below, and that is an indication of some bullish action likely to occur. The next candle, it opened and penetrated through both zones, and this candle opened above the zone, which is to indicate that we probably have broken the zone. We get one more candle and it's confirmation, and we're up here. We actually have a signal in this zone as well. If we're using the rule of two signals, that is one here and one on the longer chart, this is not an entry point. Now, I have arrows on the screen. I don't trade with arrows. I trade with the boxes up top. But unfortunately, these boxes only indicate what is going on the very last candle. And I have rolled this back several days, so these boxes have no indication at all about what I'm talking about right now. So I turn the arrow zone, which is a historical indication that all the boxes lined up in a bullish zone on the shorter chart. And then we received another signal here. Even though it's on a red candle, it is still showing us there's some bullish momentum. Had you entered at this point on this candle, that would be fine. That would be perfectly okay, because you have a lot of things supporting the signal that would be on the top of this page. Even though we don't have confirmation on the longer chart, and that is typically what we look for, and it still would be a good rule to follow here. I'm just trying to tell you there are other things that you can look at to help you understand where price is going. So if you did take a trade at this point somewhere in that candle, there will certainly be no shame put on you, because it would actually been a good decision. But if we wait, and we wait until we get a signal on a confirmation chart, which is a longer chart, we won't be getting in until somewhere in here. Now, we missed the chance to pick up a few pips. That's okay, because we have a real solid confirmation here, and the likelihood of this trade failing is very low. So if we see that once we're into this, we can roll the charts forward and see that it did quite well. It did a little retrace here, and frankly, you might get an exit signal in here. But it's still up to you to decide whether or not you want to take it. Even if you did take it, you would get a new entry signal here, where you get back in with confirmation on the other chart. And you would still be at profit. Even if you exited, you would still be at profit. If you exited and got back in, you'll still be at profit. So here we go, back in again, up until we hit this zone up here. Let's roll this out here again. And we get another little retrace. I do not think that you would have gotten an exit signal here. It might have blinked a few times, but I don't think it would have held. And then it created two zones, one here that was soon replaced by this one here. See this one candle zone? That's a bearish zone, and it created another bearish zone. And this shows you that momentum is definitely bullish, because it did not even affect price movement. It actually came out of this little retrace and headed on upwards again, where we run into another bearish zone, which again is resoundingly broken. And then it comes up here and starts flattening out. You will likely have gotten a signal right in here to get out. Now, if you got out here, you'd be just really good gains. I don't know, I haven't put the numbers to it. But there's no reason that you would have to, because, like I said, you're at good profit. It hasn't penetrated this previous bearish zone. You could stay in and still be happy with the trade. And then you would be pleased when you've waited a few candles and notice you still have indication of a positive bullish move. And it goes on and on and on. The same story. You see it breaking through the zones, breaking through the zones, breaking through the zones, and moving upward. These are all solid indications that price is going to continue to move. Now, frankly, I got out of this trade, because I do not like to be in trades after hours or when I can't monitor it. I do trade early in the morning sometimes, and I don't. Anytime in a Friday afternoon, I like to get away and go play, so I get out of the trades. So I did not stay in this trade through this entire run, because we are talking about starting out way over here on entry on 3-1. and of course this run ran all the way through 3-4. That's just simply the way I trade. I know a lot of people that let them ride through the night, or babysit them if they wish, or I've gotten too old to do that. So I just take my profits when it seems like a good time to do it. This signal was 6 o'clock in the evening Central Time. So I actually got out in here because it's getting to be pretty late, about 9 o'clock, and I was done for the night. I did not sit through this trade through here. Uh, I could say I did. Look what a great run I had, but it didn't. It just simply didn't happen. However, in the morning, I like to get up and start looking at Forex at about 6 in the morning. I don't have a signal yet, but I did get one here, and I did re-enter here, and I took this little short run, and I did exit here because, again, it's like 6 o'clock in the evening, and I just don't want to ride it through. This is the way I trade. I know a lot of really serious big money traders that do not exit. They just stay in. And goody for them because they're successful. This is all I have for you today. Uh, I'll get back with you later with some other looks at pricing and the zones and the SRT and the TWPT. Thank you and happy trading.